Okay, I'm headed out. This is the day I go to the dentist. Not real happy. Dreading it, but I'm heading out, catching a cab over to near where the dental place is, so I'll check in with you after. Hi everyone. So I left you hanging. I shot some footage walking into the building with the dental office, and I'll tell you, I had a weird experience. So I wanted to share that with you, and a change I had to make in the whole dental plan about this. So anyway, without further ado about it, so this is the next day I'm filming this. I was too upset to film this yesterday. I really got fried. Now, I told all of you that I have tremendous dental phobia. It's probably my worst, it's definitely my worst medical, anxiety, but I've had it, and I can give you a couple of reasons why I have this much anxiety about dental stuff. So I'll tell you that first, so it'll kind of set the stage so you know what happened to me. So I had a lot of dental issues when I was growing up. When I was a small child, I was given a lot of oral antibiotics because I had respiratory infections from the time I was born till I was about 3 or 4 years old. Well, back then, and I don't know if it still happens with this, but with oral antibiotics, and you're a baby or a toddler, whatever, it destroys your incoming teeth. So my teeth were never strong. And then when my permanent teeth came in, they also had been affected by this, even though I was not on the oral, the liquid medications at that point. So I got a bad start dentally in my life, and I had to go through a lot of dental stuff when I was just a kid. I actually had a crown on a baby tooth. I'm not even kidding. So, and back then the drills weren't as fast, the dental stuff wasn't as painless. And I developed quite a phobia as a child about it, but then it got made worse when I was in the Peace Corps and I was in Africa. I alluded to this in a live stream, but I didn't give you all the details. So when I was in the Peace Corps, we had good medical care because we actually had our own dedicated doctor, that was on the staff that really just only treated, the Peace Corps people. So we had a good doctor, but there was no dentist. And in fact, at that time in Togo in 1977, 78, there was only one dentist in all of Togo. And at least one dentist that was like a Western trained dentist. Let's put it that way. There may have been people that did dentistry that were from Togo, but she was actually German. And anyway, this woman was the only dentist that was basically treating, foreigners or people like that. So what happened is I broke a tooth. I broke a molar. Actually, the tooth still exists, amazingly. It has a crown on it now, but it's actually had 2 crowns on it since that happened to me. But I broke a tooth on a rock that was in some local peanut butter. They made their own peanut butter and sold it on the street corners in Togo, and I had some peanut butter, it had a rock in it, I bit down and it just broke the tooth like vertically in half. It was nasty. The good thing was I never had any pain from it. I never had any discomfort from it or anything, but I had half a tooth. Well, the soonest I could get in to see the dentist was a month later in the capital city of Lomé. So I was a wreck that whole month because I kept thinking it was going to start hurting and there was nothing, to do about it. Fortunately, it never started hurting. But when I went to the dentist in Lomé, and she was a German woman, probably late 50s, maybe 60 years old, I just became increasingly suspicious that she had somehow, and I know this may or may not be true, I just made this up because that's what it seemed like to me. She was certainly the right age to have been a former Nazi dentist, shall we say, during the war. And she tortured me. She tortured me. I mean, I can't say it any other way. She had no ability to make a crown. There was no dental lab in Togo. But the tooth was viable and she didn't want to pull the tooth. So she said, well, I can rebuild the tooth with and that only lasted a couple of years. I ended up having to have a crown on it when I was back in the US. But anyway, she said I can rebuild it, like with amalgam or whatever she did. But anyway, she didn't really have Novocaine. Let's just put it that way. So she's drilling in on a tooth that's live, that is sensitive. And I thought I was going to crawl out of my body. Like I was just out of my mind. And this torture went on, it seemed like forever, because she took a long time doing this. And I think she somehow enjoyed it, which is why I thought she probably had worked for the Nazis at one time. So I don't even remember her name now. But she was the right age to have been in Germany during World War II, is all I'm saying, and working as a dentist. And why did she flee to Africa? We don't know. We'll never know. So I'm making light of it now, but it increased my dental trauma like tenfold. And then I had other dental, I had to have some other crowns in my 20s. And I mean, I've just had no end to dental work because while my gums are okay and I've not had loose teeth or anything like that, I've had a lot of problems with decay, with having to have crowns replaced. I still have 2 root canals in my mouth right now. One is up here and one I think is down here, or the opposite. No, I think one's here. Not the tooth that's bad right now. It's actually the one next to it. And then one down here. I still have 2 root canals in my mouth. So anyway, I just wanted to explain this so you understand why I have such dental trauma. And it's been an ugly road in my life. And I forgot one more thing. No, this one is very important too. So for a lot of you out there, I had a lot of critics when I first started talking about the fact that I had this dental issue. I had a lot of people go, well, if you took care of your teeth properly, you wouldn't have problems. And well, I brush my teeth like 3 times a day. I do floss. I don't floss when I have like a problem area. Like I don't do that when it's a problem, but I do floss. Probably not as much as I should. And, if I have a problem, I go into a dentist. But no, I don't go in for regular cleanings or anything like that and let me explain why. This is the other dental trauma. So when I was also in my 20s, I think it was before actually I went in the Peace Corps. I think I was still in college. My mother had a good friend, this guy that was like a friend of the family, and really nice guy. And he went in one time. I remember this because we would see him regularly. Anyway, he went into his dentist for just an ordinary dental cleaning, and he ended up in the hospital and almost died because the bacteria went into his brain. And he did survive, but like it was touch and go for a while. Well, I heard that, and he realized what it was. They even figured it out in the hospital, what had happened to him. And that is what can happen. You go in for a cleaning, and you never know when some random bacteria is going to seep in there, go to your heart or your brain or whatever. Well, I heard that, and that put me over the edge too. So my point is, I've had a lot of reasons to have dental trauma. So I only get done what is absolutely necessary, and that is why I really just want to have this tooth pulled, because I can't deal with anything else. Not only can't I deal with it emotionally, but even financially, it's a burden right now. So anyway, back to the story. So I was supposed to go to this dental office here that I'd gone one time when I first got into Albania. And I liked the endodontist. She spoke English fluently, but it was a very small office. Like you literally walk in, there's like a, reception. There were some chairs, but there was only like 3 little cubicles that, were partially, they weren't completely closed. They had like this glass, wall that were for treatment rooms. So it was not a big office. And she was the only person there other than her assistant / receptionist. So I liked her, and she found out which tooth it was and everything else. Well, so what she wanted to do was have me come back this week, and she was going to take that crown off the tooth that we knew was probably going bad. And she wanted to just check it out to see if it was at all salvageable or whatever. And then she told me she was just gonna refill it or something temporarily till I could get it pulled. Well, anyway, the more I thought about that, when I was thinking about going there, I just didn't feel good about it. And, but I thought, well, I gotta go and whatever. So I ended up putting off the appointment one day because I had something else I had to do on the day I was supposed to go there. And when I have a dental thing done, that's all I can really focus on that day. So when I went there, the weird thing is the night before, I couldn't sleep. And I've been sleeping great. I've been getting really good sleep in this place. I'd been sleeping well in London. I haven't been having problems sleeping. So I just couldn't get to sleep. I probably got to sleep at 3 in the morning. I only got about 4 or 5 hours of sleep at most. So anyway, I was dreading going to this place. In fact, when I was walking there, because I got let off somewhere before there, and I actually had something to eat first because I knew I wasn't going to want to eat after this was done. And when I'm walking there, I'm like, you know how you like drag your feet like you just don't want to go? And and even when I got to the place, I'm like standing outside trying to just talk myself into going in. Like, I was really dreading it. And I mean, I knew that she was gonna like numb it if she took the crown off or whatever, but for some reason I felt like not good about doing that. And it was increasing, and I don't know if it was just fear or it was a mix of fear, intuition, or I don't know what it was, but I've never had what happened next to me happen before in a dental office, so it's not something I, regularly experience. But when I went upstairs to the place, which was on the second floor, I walked in and the assistant was very nice and greeted me. And so I get in, and I can see that the endodontist is currently working on somebody right in that cubicle because it's all right there. They're not like where you can't see them or anything. And she's working on somebody, and I'm about 10 minutes early for my appointment. So the assistant said, do you want to wait, or it's going to be a while? And I was like, okay. So I sit on one of these little sofa things they have, and I just start kind of looking at my phone. But meanwhile, so what started happening is she's working on this guy's mouth, and the drill is going for 20 minutes straight. You know how like when a dentist drills your teeth and then they take a break? They'll drill for 5 minutes and then they take a break, and then she just was going at it with this guy for 20 minutes straight. I know, because I counted. And I thought, what the heck is that? I would freak out if she was doing that to me. Like, I can't have somebody just, with your mouth open and the stuff flying around and you're like, 20 minutes? So I was starting to lose it. And the assistant kept going in to help her. So I was like alone, really, sitting there, and they weren't turned towards me. Well, I started having a panic attack. I really did. I just started absolutely having a panic attack. And I thought, I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, first of all, I didn't even know how long she was going to be because they couldn't tell me. And the longer I sat there, the worse it got. And so they were busy. I wasn't going to walk in on a patient and say, so I just left. And I have never done that in my life. I don't know. Everything inside me said, you got to get out of here. You just got to get out of here. So I left, and I ended up sending him a message from down the street saying, I'm sorry, I had a panic attack. I couldn't take it. I can't do this right now. And I felt horrible. I mean, I really did, but I had to go. Now, when I got down the street, I sat in a little place, like a little outdoor cafe for a while, and I thought, well, I got to figure something else out because now I can't go back to that place. I can't go back to that place. So I looked up and I decided to research it better than I did the first time when I was looking for a place to go, because they have dental places everywhere in Toronto. You can't throw a rock and not hit a dental clinic. I mean, most of them are not great looking, but I was like, there's got to be. So I looked up, like, what are the actual best dental clinics in Toronto, and I came up with several sites that had lists of these places. And I finally decided on this one that looked very high tech. They had their own building. It was not a tiny little office. And they were close to where I actually was. It was probably about, I don't know, not even half a mile away. So I walked up there. Not to get seen, but I thought, well, at least I can go there and make an appointment. So I walked up there and it was very hot. We've been having it's very hot here already in Toronto at this time of year. And so I'm getting overheated. I get red in the face when I get overheated. So I was like miserable. I get to the clinic and I just expected that I'd go in and just make an appointment or something. But when I walked in and told him, I said, listen, I had an abscess about a month ago. I've got a bad tooth. I said, I've already had it looked at, but I know which tooth it is. I just, I just need to get seen. And they said, oh, well, we can see you right now. And I was like, okay. So very nice place. I mean, you walk in and you wouldn't know it's, anywhere but in like Western Europe or the US or whatever. So it was very nice. They spoke English. The person at the desk did, the dentist I saw did. But anyway, they took a 3D x-ray, which is something the other place did not do, which only cost me like $20. And but that did my whole mouth. And then I saw the dentist and she examined it. She said that there was inflammation in the gum between that and the other tooth, and she thought, well, maybe that's why I still have sensitivity over there. She wasn't sure if, and she was trying to make the case to say, well, we should probably do like a root canal and we would have to put like a new crown on it. And I said, well, honestly, I just want the tooth pulled. I just don't, and she did what a typical dentist would try to do. They're trying to save a tooth, and she goes, well, but your teeth will shift. Like I said, no, my teeth don't shift. I've had other teeth pulled, as you can tell, and my teeth don't shift. They just don't. They're rock solid in there, trust me. And I said, and I just can't deal with it. It's too much to do that. I said, I'm 70 years old. I said, realistically, it's just one less problem I have to have. So right now, so she made a case, and she said, well, I'd at least like you to come in, and at least we can clean that area and treat that inflammation, and maybe that will solve but see, I know the other thing I did not like, okay, I know you're going to say she's complaining about every dentist. Not really, but I am going to go to this place because they have a dedicated oral surgery place. They have a dedicated oral surgeon on staff. To get this tooth pulled, I am going to go to this place. But she kind of gave me a hard time because she was saying, well, I told her, I said, well, she said, how did the dentist know which tooth it is? And I said, well, they did the cold test. And she goes, oh, that doesn't work on crowns. Okay, that's BS, because I did look that up afterwards. And no, it is maybe not as effective as just doing it on a tooth without a crown, but it is effective. If they use that really cold thing and it touches that crown of a tooth that's in trouble, the root is dying, you will not feel anything. And that's that one tooth that did not feel anything. The other teeth on that side did. So she was trying to discount that, and I said, okay, I'm sorry, but that is the tooth. That's the problem. So she convinced me to come in and have this, extra thing done, this cleaning done and treatment on that. And they said they'd numb it so I don't feel it when they work on that. Hopefully it won't take long. I I'm really not happy about even doing that, honestly, and I'm still debating whether or not to give them a call before that day and say, listen, I really just want to come in and have that tooth pulled. Just, you know, but I have to go over there anyway and get on an antibiotic. You know, they have to prescribe me an antibiotic and everything else, so I might as well do this. It only costs another $20 to have this cleaning done, so the things you go through. This is why I have dental trauma too, because when you go to a dentist, their first thing is, we want to clean all your teeth. Okay, I've got an urgent problem. I don't want all my teeth cleaned right now. I just want to take care of this, and then we could discuss that. But see, I don't even know how to like explain to them why I have such trauma over the teeth cleaning thing, which I do. And so it worries me that I'm even going there and having this done, because I'm not on an antibiotic right now. And I'm thinking, great. So I know there's inflammation over there. There might be, I'm sure there's bacteria. And it's like, what if that gets into my bloodstream? So if you never see me again on this channel, you know what happened to me. No, I'm hopefully joking about that. But I am really freaked out. And if those of you want to mock me about that, fine, I'll delete you. So, if you can't understand real fear about things, then I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, I know most of you will be very kind and understand and whatever. So anyway, that's the status of things. I will probably just, I'm not going to do a whole other dedicated video to this next visit. I'll probably just share it in a community post, and then when I have the tooth pulled, after it's pulled, I'll probably have, you know, talk about that on a video or something, how I'm doing. But I don't want to keep talking about this stuff. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'll keep you updated, like I said, even if it's through a community post. So until next time, be kind always and keep moving forward. Take care. Bye.